It started out so well. I had my camera and mic. I had a shot list. I had a list of must-see vendors. I had on good shoes, all the things. So what went wrong? Hi, I'm Amy and I make things. Today I'm making my way through the Houston Quilt Festival, or at least I'm trying. Come on, let's talk about it. Our guild, like many in Texas, charters a bus to take a group to the festival, and this year I decided to join the fun with my friend Caroline as a partner in crime. We boarded the bus and we're on our way. Good morning. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. I can't even see. My mascara is drying. It is the early, it's still dark outside. Let's see. That's outside. Dark outside. Heading to Houston for Quilt Festival. I'm riding the bus trip that our guild is chartered, and it's going to be a day, and you guys are coming along, so I will find my glasses and put on some lipstick and head out the door. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, I found my glasses, put on my lipstick. We are still standing here in the dark waiting for the bus. Few logistical hiccups, it seems, but there are a whole bunch of us here. I'd show you, but I haven't got permission to film them yet, so we'll see how it goes, and we'll be on our way shortly, I hope, or we won't, and that'll be a story too. All right, the bus is here, and there's a line. It's a little, I would say, organized chaos, but we're not organized at all. Just chaos. All chaos, all the time. Like I say, I had a plan, a solid plan, which upon arrival very quickly devolved into overstimulated chaos in my mind and in my being, guys. So I have footage of some things I planned. I have some beautiful serendipitous things I didn't plan at all. And I have one purchase. And you know what? It's all good. So let's get right into it as I share what I saw at the Houston Quilt Festival. We'll start with the best in show. This is The Visitation by Ricky Timms. And the use of color, which is his specialty, of course, is just incredible. That's my friend Caroline looking at it. Ricky is one of her favorite artists and mentors. And there is more information about all of the winning quilts linked below. Next, we have Color My World by Karen K. Buckley. This is the Master Award for Artistry, and it is spectacular. The applique and the quilting are impeccable and fun. The entire quilt is sort of a Where's Waldo, as there is one animal in the center that doesn't have its own outer block. And so you stand there and you have to find it, right? And you really have to look. It was just so joyful. Now, this one drew me from across the room. The scale alone is impressive, but its purpose and execution are spectacular. It's a nativity scene, clearly. The piece is called Nativity Scene with Jesse Tree Symbols by David LaPlaca, and it's an advent calendar. The work is composed of 4 overlapping panels, and it's 6 feet high by 17.5 feet wide. Each of the pieces is magnetic and gets added or flipped in sequence leading up to Christmas Day. The symbols in the circles are Jesse tree symbols that represent Bible stories about God's faithfulness while waiting for the Messiah. From concept to execution, it is truly a masterpiece. Next is Party Time by Krista Watson. Krista's teaching free motion and walking foot quilting at our guild in January 2026, and I love her work. This is One Earth, One Essence by Paula Rafferty. Paula created the image digitally, and I presume had it printed by one of the services. But guys, look at this. The quilting. The quilting is a labor of intention and love. I'm going to zoom in here in just a minute so you can see up close. Each of those little black lines you see making the image look pixelated is quilting. Those teeny tiny spaces. And then when there aren't teeny tiny spaces, they're in the texture of the hair and whatnot, it really stands out because everything else is so heavily quilted. It's just incredible. I complain when I'm doing pebbles on a large scale. This, oh my goodness, so much love. One of the unexpected features is that I had the opportunity to speak with two artists about their work displayed in one of the special exhibits. Here are their stories about their work and what it means to them.
It's called We Can, We Did, and We Are. Soul Stories, Threads of Existence. So my quilt was designed because I ran in high school and loved it, and there was no track team in college for me when I got to the University of Texas in 1972, even though Title IX had passed. And so it's been a little pet peeve, and so when I chose to join this group, I really wanted to show that the power of running is very, very important. And Catherine Switzer, who ran in the Boston Marathon, and I have highlighted down here on my bottom row, was instrumental in helping us get the marathon as a race that I never did run. I only ran 10K races, but she's run it and she's gotten enough marathons done in enough countries, more than 25 on 3 continents, that we have the Olympic event of women's marathon as of 1984. And so I've always been very impressed with her work. I used a lot of her book, Marathon Woman, to research this. And I did a lot of what is called applique. This is a complete applique quilt in that all my background is raw edge. All my pieces have fusible on the back that are appliqued to the top. For the running space, I used men's ties. And that's my homage to men who ran. And at the top, you'll see so many women because more than half the runners in the United States are women. And I had the best time making this quilt, so thank you. So there are little post-its above and around the runners, and those post-its provide little snippets of history. And the history tells you a little bit of why on the blue post-its we had things that were barriers to women being running and active. The first one is from 1873, a Harvard professor who said women should not be doing anything active because it would atrophy their ovaries. And they shouldn't study more than 4 hours a day because, you know, they might could compete with the men. And he was a Harvard professor, so people listened to him. And that opinion has impacted whether women had running races all the way through for many years up until 1960. Even in 1930, the Olympic Committee took 800 meters off the table when the newspapers made such a fuss about women looking so exhausted. They didn't look any more exhausted than the men, but what can you say? So I've wanted to honor the way women have honored, built in, built up, and made running a piece. And I built the whole background of this quilt, all the greens and browns, not the pathway, not the women, as a whole separate quilt so that everything would look like it went together from left to right. So you see lots of stitching, some of it done on your host Amy's long arm, and some of it done on Helen's long arm because people let me borrow their long arms to play with my quilt. And I worked really hard on that. I even painted the bottom few inches because they weren't a dark enough brown. And there are a lot of hand-dyed fabrics that were given to me from someone who had passed away because of a car accident, who was in our fiber artist group. And the top ones are ones that I had done in shibori classes that I thought would make a nice sky. So you can use whatever kind of fabrics you have. There are a few polyesters in here. I accidentally melted one of my runner's heads and had to remove her from the quilt.
Yes. No, we don't need that. We don't need that.
So I removed her. I was able to heat the fusible, and unconnect her and get her out of the way, and then kind of rebuild that section so it still looked okay. But I was pretty embarrassed when I melted my own poor lady's head. So, you know, I've had adventures along the way, but I'm very happy with how all this turned out.
Thank you so much, Marie.
You're welcome.
My name is Phyllis Cullen. I'm from California, and in San Diego we have a large problem, as we do in many places, with a lot of people who are homeless. And that's why I made this quilt, to give out a message. It's called No Place Like Home. And the most important thing about this quilt is that I wanted to show the different expressions of people in different stages of homelessness. Some people who are very in despair, some people who are just have given up and accepting, others are still hopeful, and others will just look at you with suspicion. But don't feel bad, because, you know, a man holding a baby who doesn't have a home, it's pretty understandable why they would feel that way. So I wanted to show the expressions of the different homeless people. And just to add a little note of maybe irony to it, I sat them all in front of a real estate office with ads on the wall offering homes for $7 million, which just shows that there are some people in our society who can afford $7 million homes, and others who are on the street, mostly through no fault of their own. It's a big problem, and being homeless and cold and insecure and vulnerable to everything is a problem that, as a nation, as a world, we really need to solve. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's everyone's problem, and
It is.
I love that your quilt shows the humanity,
Right.
because so often the homeless,
They are not
and
faceless.
They're not.
Thank you so much
for sharing your story. Thank you so much for sharing your time and stories with me, so that I can share them here, and to all the other artists in the exhibit. It was spectacular. Here we have another epic work. This one, the Cossack Mamai quilt, curated by Maria Nelia. It's the biggest group quilt in the history of Ukrainian patchwork, made by 47 quilters in collaboration. Cossack Mamai is not just a historic or folkloric figure, but symbol of the resilience of the Ukrainian people. Now, switching gears, here is Le Chapman by Marie-Françoise Gregor. This is full of handwork, from the applique in the center to the hand quilting around each of those quarter circles. Quilts like these speak to me, and this one stopped me from across the room. Quilt de Guerre, which translates to War Quilt, by Jocelyn Picot. This piece was inspired by a mid-1800s museum quilt in Wales. Inspiration is everywhere, guys. Look at this. Look at this eating the... it's just crazy. I think I need to make a quilt with animals and stories, and maybe inspired by those cave paintings from last December. But I love the color story of this. I love the storytelling within it. It's remarkable. Now this one is hitting all of my Gen X 80s buttons. I mean, it's Pac-Man. It's black and white, it's thread work. What could be better? And this is a tiny sample of the Cherry Wood Abyss Challenge, a challenge where you use a specific color palette of cherry wood hand-dyed fabrics and create a piece that is inspired by the annual theme. For 2025, the theme was the Abyss, and these are really spectacular. They are small pieces filled with imagination, creativity, and so much detail. You can get the book of all the finalists and more at the link in the description box. Now, the challenge for 2026 is story time, and it pays tribute to classic children's books that have been handed down generation to generation, and I cannot wait to see those. Next is Be Fashionable on Rainy Days by Japanese artist Akiko Yoshimizu, who says she made the quilt to encourage girls to dress up and go out cheerfully even during the continuous rainy season of Japan. The handwork and attention to detail, well, you can see, it's absolutely remarkable. Each of the little girls is different, and it is indeed cheerful. By this time, having gotten up at 5 a.m., I was already overstimulated and exhausted by all the wonderful sights. There was an entire exhibit of these vintage quilts that you guys know are my absolute favorites. These two are just a sample, both from the mid-19th century, and most of the quilts in this exhibit are maker once known, uncredited, just dated by fabric and style. It is so important that we document our work because quilts tell the story of time and they tell the story of our lives. Please, please, please label your quilts, and I will work harder at that as well. I just love these quilts. They feel like home. Caroline and I didn't spend too much time in the vendor booths, and yet I managed to make quite the investment purchase. I'm thanking Mac for being an excellent influencer. I was watching her festival recap video on the TV the night before we left, and Casey was in the room. I thought he was reading, but when Mac started talking to the guys about the goat tote, he pipes up and says, "You need that." I tried to argue that my system was fine, but as I mentioned in my current favorites video, I'm doing a lot of sewing on the go, and Casey politely informed me that he was tired of hauling my machine in and out of the car and across parking lots. So when I got to the booth, I called Casey and said, "Which bag do you think I need?" He replied, "Buy all the things." So I got 3. I got these 3. Now, it's a big mama jama. I got the big goat tote, right? Giant, will hold my Janome HD9 machine. I got the little carry-on goat, right? This will hold my featherweight. This will hold my supplies. This has a sleeve on the back so it fits on this nice roller. And I got the weekender tote. Also, it'll hold all my supplies for a retreat. It has the sleeve on the back. And guys, they are very thoughtfully designed. I'll link Mac's video where they are, the guys are talking about it and extolling all the virtues of the goat totes because they are very thoughtfully designed, and I know they will be used extensively. The fact that they look like 1987 threw up on them makes them like 100 times better in my Gen X heart. I'll link everything below, and like I say, the video with the timestamp to Mac's interview. Shortly after that, it was time to get back on the bus and head home. I was tired and energized all at the same time. And as I reflect on the footage, the quilts, my purchases, trying to figure out what it is that is so special about Quilt Festival or any quilt show that would make me willing to get on a charter bus for 3 hours there and back, you know, the answer for me is always the same. It's the people. It's the time I spend with friends and artists and strangers, all looking at and being moved by amazing quilts, innovative products, and it's, well, frankly, it's you. I ran into several of you that told me that you love the channel. Thank you so much. And we got to visit and get to know each other, and that to me is always my favorite part of any quilting event. Making connections and new friends and building a community. I love hearing your stories of wanting to build a memory quilt for a loved one or having the same quirky make do no rules attitudes That's where the magic happens. It's what gets me out of bed at 5 in the morning so that I can go get on a charter bus to ride for 3 hours. So, you know, did everything go according to plan? Not even close. Did I get all the footage I wanted? Nope. But here's what I did get. A day surrounded by incredible art, conversations with talented makers, some truly excellent travel bags that are going to make my life and Casey's easier, and time with people who love this craft and art as much as I do. And honestly, that's better than any shot list I could ever have made. The overstimulated chaos was worth it. Because at the end of the day, quilting isn't really about the quilts. It's about the connections we make while we're looking at them, talking about them, and making them. It's about showing up even when things don't go perfectly and finding the joy in what actually happens instead of what we planned. So, if you've been to Houston or any other quilt show, I want to hear about your experience. What is your favorite part? Do you stick to your plan, or does it all go sideways like mine? And if we ran into each other at the festival, leave a comment so I can say hi again. If you enjoyed coming along on this slightly chaotic adventure, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, so that more people can find us and join our little community. Don't forget to check out the video on your screen, and never forget that you make the world more beautiful just by being in it. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.